And
The door not working. Did you try this door first to the outside, or did you come in?
I came in that way.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Oh.
because it was open by then.
all right.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Looks
I
like
was so lucky because
Looks
I'm
like
sitting in
it's
my
okay.
truck watching you try that door, so I don't have to go to that one.
let's get this started too.
It's,
Hang on just 1 second.
Yep.
Okay, well, looks like they're both recording. I think it's gonna work. Let's do it.
started.
Yep.
We'll call the meeting to order with roll call.
Paul St. Armand.
Colleen Hodges,
Alex Berardo for staff.
Nick Longo.
Maureen Buffy, Norm Snyder.
It's 6:03.
Yes. Approval of minutes of November, but they're not finished, right?
Yeah, they may have been begun, but our minute taker has since moved on to a new opportunity and didn't send us whatever would have been started. So
Okay.
it's same deal as we started last year. We're just gonna have to wait until we get someone
So,
else
we'll
and
table
then
it
they'll
for
have some
next-
catching up to do, yeah.
Okay. Oh, well, till whoever.
Yep. So
Right.
we'll table them for now.
What does that entail? They listen to the recording and type?
Yeah, it can be a remote job. So yeah, basically they just go in through the website and just listen and write. I'd probably send them the first, just so they have a template to work from.
And we can't do it ourselves,
Well, you could,
save us money out of our budget.
well, yeah, I mean, I guess if whoever takes on the secretary job feels so inclined, in theory, I mean, that's, I guess that is technically one of the secretary roles, but I don't know. I just figured the fact that the meeting recordings are online and that we aren't reviewing, like,
Application.
yeah, we're not reviewing applications that are like, you're telling somebody you can or can't make this alteration to your house. I don't know in practice that we're gonna run into a situation where someone needs to see the minutes real fast, but it's up to you guys.
How do some of the other commissions do it? Some of the others that don't have any, lots of approvals or anything, somebody similar to this
It's
commission.
handled the same way. So like the other ones that the planning commission manages, the land trust, the conservation commission, they're also just, I guess just on pause until we get the.
Okay,
replacement
so
person.
nobody has minutes right now?
Yeah, so, and we had last year, I mean, that's the thing, it's been a year. We had other people, on like the list of applicants, so it's just, we're gonna go down the list and call people up and see, you still available, but it's been a year, so maybe they are, maybe they're not. So it could be a quick turnaround, it might end up taking a little bit.
Okay.
From home.
I know, it's, I don't know, if you like municipal processes, it should be interesting.
How long does it take to transpose one?
I guess
It's a while, right?
Yeah,
You gotta
I think-
type an hour.
and, yeah, and it can depend on how long, and how long a meeting takes and how they're built. Like one of the boards is a very specific way the minutes are supposed to be
Right.
set up. And so maybe that takes a little extra to get the template just right. But something like this, I don't know, like maybe 2 hours for every 1 hour talking, like at most, or an hour and a half.
Wow.
Yeah, because this one's kind of straightforward. But in any case, that's where that one stands.
Approval of the 2025 meeting calendar.
I knew I was forgetting to print something. I can
Yeah.
print you guys copies if you'd like.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna push my luck. I could have pulled it up on the screen,
Yeah.
but here, just give me one quick second. I'm just thinking if the Wi-Fi is not strong, you never know.
Maybe on the next meeting, we can start talking about the cases.
Yeah,
Start-
well,
start them
there's a
up.
couple of things. The one with the glass.
Oh, yeah, before you can put it in, it'd be easier to replace the glass.
Are we talking about the cases that are here, that are
Here,
gonna be
three
here?
of them, two on the side.
The one
one
at
on
town
top.
hall isn't in bad shape. That one that really doesn't need, other than maybe other glass shelving. Or more glass shelving. I
And
realize
what
that can
ended up
happen.
happening with the, Parks and Rec? With the case.
I haven't gone back. We haven't gone back with Christmas. and-
Put some things in, but
Not much, but we did get a few things in. I put it right up something.
If you wouldn't mind taking one and passing it down, thank you. So same convention that we've been following.
Yep, the first Thursday of the
I
month.
don't really see any conflict.
I don't
When-
think there were any this year. 4th of July was, I'm pretty sure, the only one last year.
Yeah, and this, it falls on the third, so,
Yeah, I
Thanksgiving
don't
would never
believe
be a
that they're,
problem.
yeah,
The only ones would be like July 4th and Christmas down the road.
mhm.
Christmas.
Oh, no, it wouldn't, because that's.
No,
only
it's at the end of the
25th,
month.
Yeah.
Right.
That, in
Yeah,
the
so
old
that
days,
never
it
would
would
be-
have, before we
Yeah,
switched to the
it would be
first.
Yeah, the only one would be the 4th of July, yeah.
As I say, I'm not aware of the town taking the 3rd off, so I don't think that's a conflict, so. Anyhow,
If it is, we could just have that meeting in Westerly.
yes,
Town
I
plan.
was gonna say either that or, hopefully in the 7 months between now and then, I take notice and then let you know ahead of time so we can schedule.
Okay, can I have, a
Make a
motion?
motion to approve the 2025 meeting calendar.
Second,
Who? I mean, oh, moved. All in favor?
I,
Opposed?
Right. I'll post that to Secretary of State's
Yep.
then.
Okay, election of officers, secretary. Is anyone interested in that position? Or do you want to nominate somebody for that position?
I don't know what they, does we need a body?
Yeah, just because it's a vacant role to be filled.
But what?
I was gonna say, I don't feel strongly
I don't
to
know.
do it, but for the sake of moving on, I would do it, but
There you go, it's yours.
it's okay.
So we'll
So
take a, I guess-
Stare it.
Maureen's been nominated.
She knows more about it than I do.
so yeah, who made the nomination, who made the
I-
second?
I will nominate Maureen.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do I have to say aye?
No, you don't get to vote.
Opposed?
You have to recuse yourself.
Okay, let me write that down.
All right. We'll make it easy.
Okay.
One vote's good. Congratulations, Maureen.
Thank you, thank you.
What's happening with the CLG grant?
We've got, I guess, the main course positive update is that we finally got the contract executed, so we have our consultant finally. And so, yeah, I think I said his name last time, but his name is David Taylor. And he is, I believe, sometime this month, it's probably in like around 2 weeks or so, going to come up here. He has a project also in Connecticut, so he's going to take a trip over and I guess do 2 birds, 1 stone and begin his site surveying in Arkwright and Harris. And he's given me the first of his invoices, so I'm working right now with finance slowly but surely to get that processed. So it's well underway at this point. It's formally finally going. HPHC is, I was in touch with them basically every day back and forth, so they know that it's underway too. They're happy that it's getting going, and he is mentally prepared and has his schedule, so he knows that getting it done by August is the game plan to make sure that it's, that we're conforming with the period that the grant had.
Mhm.
So it's good that he's able to do that on that
Where
expedited
is he out
schedule.
of?
He, I think, lives in Pennsylvania. So
Holy cat.
he's done a lot of work, I know, in Connecticut, but I don't know if he's done so many in Rhode Island so far. But at least his proposal, his proposal showed a lot of ones in Connecticut towns.
So out of the budgeted funds, he's gonna use that to house himself while he's in the area.
Yeah, he said that it wasn't like extra stuff for travel and things. So he's, I don't know, maybe, who knows how he's doing it, maybe the Connecticut one's taking care of him or something. But he's able to do it, and he's able to do it for what the grant proposal was.
So this,
And
so
did you say his name was David Taylor?
Yep,
Mhm.
David Taylor.
so does he work for a company or is he just a?
No, yeah, consultant. At
So
one
he's
point
writing
in
all that
time,
out.
I think he worked for like the state historic office in either Pennsylvania or Ohio or something. But these days, I get the sense that he's like not exactly retired, but just works for himself.
Any chance that we might get to meet him at some point?
He's definitely, well, I know I'm thinking before the end, because I know that he's doing, there's gonna be like an end extravaganza, I
Mhm.
guess, some public meeting
Okay.
where he'll give a presentation of what he found. I'll have to check again to make sure that I know how it's working in the interim. Besides, I mean, obviously besides like the regular email updates,
Right.
there might be an intro one too. In any case, it's just nice to get the thing to a point where we've got a consultant who's, yes,
Yeah,
who is gonna move on it
Mhm.
and do the actual survey work, which is,
Is he
It's
gonna,
out there.
check in with you from time to time or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would figure so. I gave him some of whatever resources we had. I know that 10 years ago at this point, the planning department had written a draft local historic district ordinance for Harris.
mhm,
And so we still had that. I was able to scan it and send it to him just so that he had,
Mhm.
so he's not starting from total scratch.
Right, he's got
Even if
some-
some of that's outdated, maybe like one or two of the buildings, or who knows if it's maybe something got torn down or somebody modified it after. But he has that and he's got maps that Rhode Island HPHC made that basically sketch out, they give him like a visual indication of like within what general range is he likely to find historic assets out there, something to help him narrow his search. One of our summer interns also put together one that I don't know how much it adds. He did one that just showed like which lots have buildings that predate 1900. It's a lot of overlap. It's basically the same stuff as HPHC said, but in any case, yeah, if it saves him any time, all the better.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they don't want to be out walking around out there in January.
Well, not at this time of year, and especially if he's got to work on a schedule that's probably faster than we would have originally assumed. It can only help.
So how about, while we're on CLG, do you want to talk about, reports? So I went on, signed up.
And you were able to log into
Yes,
eCivis?
I spent quite a bit of time on it, also today. And, it's pretty easy to navigate through there.
Mhm.
So I think I concur with what you said in an email to me, is that there are two reports due right now. One that
Okay.
was, due back in September,
Mhm.
and one that was due December 1st.
So those are quarters 3 and 4
Yeah.
probably then.
3 and 4. Although you would think that if it's a full quarter,
Yeah.
this one would
That's
be
actually a good point.
12/31. So
Yeah,
I
that's a
don't know
good
if that
point.
date's right on there, the person that, her name shows up all the time on the website. I forgot what her name is. Is that also the contact? Would it,
The one that I've been emailing about this is Donna.
yeah,
Is that that's
Yeah.
who you're thinking of? Yeah, then she's probably the
she's the
contact.
grant manager for this too then,
Mhm.
or the representative for the grantor.
Mhm.
So, 2 quarterly reports. I don't have any information. If I would just stare at a piece of blank paper, I wouldn't know what has happened. It sounds like you have a lot to be able to tell with the major breakthrough now that we have the person, we did the RFP and all that.
Mhm.
Um,
I know I guess let's take a second to think then. So this is probably June to September, I guess, and then, or whatever, yeah, June to September, and then how does this
July.
split go? If
This
it's
is-
the first, is it the first of the month?
Yeah, because this report here was the last known report that I could find on the web, on the
Well,
eCivis.
that shows July 1st, though.
Yeah, ending July
Yeah,
1st.
so then, okay, so it would be like,
So it should
all of
take
July,
into
all of
June
August, all of
30th,
September.
but, that's fine.
Yeah. So, okay, but we're counting, so like the first, that quarter 3
July
includes
through
September.
September,
Yeah,
and then October through December. We'll just assume it's through December, even though it says 12/1, that can't be right.
yeah.
Um,
Okay, so, yeah, I guess, I mean, off the top of my head, then that third quarter would have been probably the time period where we were doing the last of the MPA, the master price agreement process and finding that it wasn't gonna work.
yeah,
And then working with HPHC to figure out, what we're gonna do next. And then a lot did end up happening in that last quarter.
right,
That was basically
with the sending
Yeah,
out
I
the
think-
RFP twice.
yeah, I'm pretty sure the RFP was entirely contained within that last one. But I can check back in my emails. I'll give
Yeah.
you an email to basically say what the highlights were.
Yeah, if you, just give me like a bulleted list of highlights that I need to put in each quarter, I'll fluff it out and put it in a nice paragraph.
Do you have old ones that Erin did, or would you like me to attach
don't-
one?
I don't think she did more than just this one, did she?
I think, did she do
I
two?
think she did too.
Did she do 2? I didn't, I'll go back and look. I didn't see any other completed
I think
report. I could be wrong. I'll look again.
if you've got, well, is that one of them then?
Yeah,
Because Yeah, that's probably what it, I was
This
gonna
is the
say,
one that you signed on September 11th.
yeah. Yeah, I thought, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I thought that Aaron kept it to the right length. I thought that she
Yeah,
basically, yeah,
Hit the high points.
and it didn't, yeah, and they were fine with it, so they didn't seem to need, you know, extensive detail,
No.
anything more than that, so that's probably. a
I'm
fine
envisioning,
template.
I'm envisioning one or two paragraphs, just,
Yeah,
So you're doing this for the 31st, when it was due the 31st or?
yeah,
Yeah.
well, the one that was due September 1st, Q3 is due. And the one that's due, we're gonna pretend it says 12/31 on the
Yep,
thing I'm looking at here, would be Q4. And I wasn't privy to what was going on in the back office, so Alex will give me just a highlight.
but did the September 30th one get done?
apparently,
Never
no,
done. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess that was right around the
Right.
time
I
that
did-
Aaron
right,
left.
So.
Yeah,
probably why.
So we're gonna have two quarterly
Yeah.
reports,
Yep,
and Alex will make notes on it, and I'll just write it out in a paragraph or two,
yep.
just the high points. So, yeah, it's important to keep this up because we
Mhm.
want to, if we apply for something else in the future, we don't want to have a bad
Mhm.
reputation like.
And they at least understood, I told them once, Erin had offered her, well, it wasn't really resignation, but just said that she wasn't gonna renew for
Mhm.
another term. I gave them the heads up and said, it's gonna, you'll have to transfer the ownership to someone else, it'll take us a little bit to figure out who's next.
Yeah,
They at least, I was gonna say, at least they knew what was going
They
on.
knew what was coming,
So, yeah,
that's a tiny grant, so they probably don't really care too much about this one.
but still, no, I mean, to the extent that we're timely,
Mhm.
can only reflect well on us, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're only 6 months behind.
They're, at least, I mean, not to impose on their graces, but they have said a couple of times, they're glad that we were able to persevere through whatever the challenges were.
Oh,
find,
yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
be able to keep the project going, even if in 2 villages instead of 3, you know. It's still, there is still value in it, and there's gonna be something good at the end of it. At least that's what I've got for CLG.
Well, that's it's moving in the
So-
right direction.
Mhm.
So they're not gonna do green now, right? Is that what?
Correct.
Yeah, we deferred greening, so we've still got the content, you know, from when we applied for it, so it's hopefully. And they did the map, when they made the maps for the other ones, they made one for green. So we've got stuff that hopefully makes the next time
Right.
that we apply for a grant for that one relatively smooth, not much else, not much more wheel to reinvent.
Yeah. What format is the map of green? and is
It's
it-
a PDF, it's a
PDF.
PDF slide. Which, I don't know, maybe it was part of a presentation at some point.
Mhm, mhm.
So we have maps of the other two as well?
Yeah, because they're right next to each
PDF.
other, it's just on one slide, but, yeah, it's in the same PDF format. Again, it's like I think they highlighted parcels they thought were old, but they mostly just drew like a red kind of oval around it and said like anywhere in here. And don't be afraid to go look across into Cranston or Situate if you think any resources spill over.
Any other questions?
No.
Mission statement. It says final approval November 7th, so it's been approved, right?
I think we did.
Well, that's what it says right here, final approved November 7th meeting.
I was probably thinking, yeah, either that we were like. If we were going to say like, well, we all reviewed it, now we formally vote or something,
Did we vote last time?
but I don't remember now.
This,
Well, here, let me check my notes quick. Let me just check
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not sure,
yeah,
I don't know if anybody got the final document
We approved it with the
with scribbles
amendments.
on my.
I have, yeah, my notebook says, mission statement for a vote next month, but that's all. So we probably had the discussion we were going to have.
Okay, no,
I don't know. It's up to you guys. If you feel like it's worth taking a vote to.
I think we should,
for
because-
comfort.
yeah,
If we did vote, we only voted on the fact that everybody trusted that I was going to put that sentence in here that you liked instead, safeguard.
mhm.
So I put that in there,
Would you mind, Nick, reading it
Yeah.
out loud for the
Sure.
audio
for
record?
the record. Okay, so we, chose, statement number 2. And it reads, the mission of the Coventry Historical Preservation Commission is to safeguard the town's heritage by connecting residents to the colorful and unique history that exists in Coventry. The commission strives to accomplish this through educational outreach and by working to preserve the town's cultural, social, economic, political, and architectural history.
I make a motion, we accept this as our official mission statement.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Great.
And we work on a vision statement.
Okay, new business is the vision statement. Before we move on to that, there's a couple of things, the next meeting that I think we should consider.
Okay.
We were talking about ongoing projects.
Mhm.
And, I mentioned one today with you about the fallout shelter sign at the police station should be removed and put on display somewhere in case,
Is that on the upper level or lower level?
by the front door.
That on Old Police Station?
Old
The
police
old police
station.
And noticed it one day, so I haven't seen one of those in a long time. But, that was not on our list of things, but it could be added to the list.
New business.
Okay. Okay, new business vision statement. What is a vision statement?
So I used the same format as I did with the mission statement and basically the same workflow that I used for that. So I'll just pick up on some of these highlights. So a mission statement is based on the present, what we do now, what is
Mhm.
our environment today. But a vision statement focuses on the future and how we'll get there. And I put this in here, it might be a little emotional or whatever, but the vision statement should be the commission's guiding light. And what I meant by that is that when we're working out our projects and making decisions, we should always remember, our mission and vision statement so that will keep us on a straight path. So how to write it, just a few things here. Before I even get into this, what I will say is that my research shows that there's not a whole lot of vision statements out there. Even when an organization calls it a vision statement, you read it's just a mission statement. Because a vision statement should be exactly what it sounds like. What do you think Coventry is going to look like when you're all done? And most of them are just kind of a restatement of their ideas of what they do in their mission statement. And another thing I think is a new trend with organizations, and we might do this with ours eventually, is that they merge the mission statement and the vision statement. And it just kind of flows nicely in the last paragraph or two. And here's what all this is going to get us. And we're going to see this. So, but for now, I figured, let's just keep going with the way it is. And we'll get it written. And then if we like, we can always see what it looks like if we combine the two.
Yeah, I was gonna ask what's the difference, because every time I read them, they sound like
They
the
do.
same.
They do and
Do.
they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found very few, and I did put them, I put a few on here, most of them were the bad ones. But yeah, so they're just, even the top organizations that I looked at didn't really understand what a vision statement was. So how to write it, a good vision statement includes things like what's the impact the commission wants to make on Coventry? How will Coventry look once the commission is successful? So that's a real key one, key idea right there. How will it look? Well, we'll have regular outreach where people can come to seminars. We're heavy on education, and people are enthusiastic about attending. So that's kind of the stuff that we would envision. Vision statements are usually prefaced with the phrases "a town where" or "we exist so that." And just like the mission statement, keep it short and concise, no longer than a sentence or two. If we can do it, a couple of well-written sentences is all we really need. And then I left a big blank here because I don't know if we want to do this right now, but we can kind of map out the commission's biggest goals. And then all that could be worked into the vision statement. So,
Well, we used to do vision statements. Vision statements were a statement of, if you accomplished everything you wanted to be, what would it look like? And it's not, oh, we'd have, the one for Habitat for Humanity is perfect.
Yeah, I want to
Everyone
make
has
sure I
a
get
place
that
to
in
put.
there on honor
I
Jimmy
mean, you
Carter.
can't get any more succinct than that. And that's where the vision statements, where people get stuck in the how we're gonna get there. That's not what the vision
Right.
statement's for. The vision statement describes what it looks like when we are
Mhm.
there.
And that makes sense, because
Yes.
every time I've read the two, in many cases, it's like,
You
I can
can't
also-
distinguish
Yeah.
between the two.
And I can imagine how it would be tough to write one if you're thinking like, if you've got not different streams of business, but like for us, we have some of our stuff is like education focused, some of it are physical projects, some, we have different stuff, so I
But-
can imagine.
So does Habitat
How
for
do,
Humanity.
I know, you really
Yeah.
have to like train yourself in
You've
a
got to
way that,
condense it
yeah.
down to what is the ultimate goal.
yeah,
And the ultimate goal is that people of the town are proud of their history.
Mhm.
Which means they understand it, they know what it is, they have buy-in to it, which is all the other stuff.
Mhm,
But
mhm.
it's that they take pride in their history and
Yeah.
where they live. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the whole point of a historic commission.
So one way to put that also would be then that residents will have the opportunity in many different media to learn about the history and have
But that's a how you get there. Providing
No, no.
education is a how.
well, but I'm seeing it as we have all these services available for people. So it's not necessarily that we're teaching them, but at this point in the vision statement, we provide them with the resources to learn these things, the website, all that. So there'll be plenty of places for people to look and learn about history, but there'll also be plenty of places where they can go and touch the history. So, but that's what this whole exercise is for. We'll keep
Yeah,
working
I
and
try-
massaging it.
Yeah, it's, because visions are tricky.
Mhm.
Why do we do what we do? That's what you're looking for, that end result. And what we do is education, outreach,
Mhm.
the
Following the
CLG,
mission.
it's all of that. That's all what we do,
Mhm.
or that's all how we do it. What do we want it to be?
Mhm. Yeah,
Because if we get stuck in the how we do things, you're gonna have 15,000 entries. It's
Yeah.
gonna look like
Right.
our to-do
Yeah.
list.
I know, and I was tempted, but when I first, whatever, 5 minutes ago started, my wheels started turning, like, would it be helpful for the mapping out one? Should I pull up the ongoing projects list? But yeah, maybe that would
That's
it
gonna
would
slow you
tend us,
down.
yeah, I guess it would tend us towards,
Mhm.
more of the particulars, I guess, instead of what's the common thread between them.
This is macro view. This is way up here and not the minutia of how we get there.
Mhm.
And that's why it's so difficult.
Mhm.
We'll have to rack our brains to
Yeah.
come up with.
But you make a
What do you
good point though, too, Alex, to go back to the to-do list that we worked out. And I'm not saying we completely, but this eventually will need to be adhering to what we say in our vision
Yeah.
statement. So, we might look at it and say, well, we don't really need to do this if that's got nothing to do with our. So everything should kind of work together eventually.
Mhm.
So, so we could map out some of the biggest goals. I think educational outreach, right? That's educational outreach. So I might take that term, educational outreach, and envision what it looks like when we've accomplished it. And that would be multiple different ways people could learn about their history.
Why do we want them to learn about their history?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just throwing out the question. Why is that
Yeah,
important?
there's a whole bunch of things you can talk about there.
You touched on it earlier when you said so people can have pride in the place that they live.
Yeah.
And preserve it. Yeah.
Mhm. So what else are we trying to do?
Um,
So people can pride in their community. We can preserve.
You guys, I guess, have done some preservation advocacy, I guess you could call it, like the Saint Germain store, to the extent, setting aside the, how much the state has so far shown an appetite to listen. I mean, you sent letters, that is something meaningful as well, because I know I'm thinking in both directions. There is something to be said for like it's like you're reinforcing but also establishing the sense of place. It exists, but it's strengthened when, more of the tangible stuff gets preserved.
So I like that word strengthen. Because that's what it does. It strengthens people's connection.
So strengthen the connection to our history.
Again,
I'm just gonna go back. to
why
what-
would
Everything's a lie.
What about the
you just keep
website,
asking why, you just keep asking why.
For, in terms of,
as far as projects, what about the website?
It's in the works, you just have to send me stuff you wanna put on it. Start sending me stuff, I can't build a page if I don't have stuff to put on it.
Oh, so you got,
I've talked to the guy in the town whose
Okay,
name I
that's
can't
what I'm
remember off the
asking.
top of my list, he's pretty
So-
much open to whatever we wanna do. So
so
we have
that's,
sort of a
that's why I'm bringing it
format.
up, this
Yeah.
is
Mhm.
biggest
the
goals,
pictures.
Yeah.
website.
Website.
Yeah.
And then we decide how much, what's the kind of stuff, who is?
Yeah, that's a big part of the educational outreach.
Although you have to direct people to websites anymore,
Yeah.
they really don't care,
Mhm.
which is social media stuff.
It makes
Mary
you-
Dormer Harris, does that name ring any bells? Do you guys, apparently she wrote some long and drawn out, there's three things under history on the website current website. Information about the Coventry Town Seal, reflections of Coventry's yesterdays, and this memorial bearings, which has to do with the town logo that this woman wrote, but apparently she wrote it on the town of Coventry, England, the use of the elephant, not necessarily why we have.
This is what's on the
This is what's
town
on
of
the
Coventry's
current
website.
website. So I don't know who wrote these things or who put them there.
Probably
Maureen,
Lila Richard.
What?
Maybe. She made the
Well-
logo.
yeah, I had that other logo thing that I copied, but
Anyway, I
I'm
was just
just
wondering,
gonna go into summit questions on cemetery things, but
Yeah.
also, as part of the website thing, probably should have info on that.
I'm
just
just
trying
trying,
to-
I'm just trying to go through
Yeah.
the website and trying to find all the little bits and pieces of history that are scattered all over it. So
We're
I'll
already
start
there.
Yeah, I'm
having
just
them
making
pull
notes.
this stuff out and put it in a condensed place.
Do you want me to give you all of the pictures that I have scanned?
No. I
No?
want you to give me, since you have photos, I need them broken, I need,
They're not
A
just photos,
selection.
though. I have a lot of typewritten, historical
I think,
descriptions
I-
of Coventry.
I think we should break it down into sections.
Mhm.
So there will probably be a section with just photos and not all of them, but just a few at a time. And then,
But I'm saying for you, so you can look at and see
Yes.
what there is there, because you may
what,
deem something important that I don't.
what time period? Well, that,
Yeah.
what, you have photos from,
I have photos from
so
late 1800s on up.
what is a good breakdown in years? 10-year increments?
Well, not everything has dates on them, so,
So
it's
it's
There's a few days,
guesswork.
villages, which is.
Mm.
Or the
the
villages,
maybe
and
topic,
the
yeah.
communities
Topics.
that we're in.
I try to
How do you have?
I
them?
try to, if there is something available, I have some kind of date, like it's early 1900s.
Maybe
or
the
late-
villages.
Why don't we start
Yeah.
with the villages?
Okay.
And
That's
then
good.
we can build on that, I mean,
Okay.
you-
And I've already
There are too
broken down
many.
a lot of the
Yes,
stuff into
there are
villages
too many.
And I think
and
that
mills.
Yeah.
you probably are not, you're not gonna put them all up there and just let them
No.
sit there. They'll rotate through,
Change it.
so maybe this month we're
On the
highlighting
website?
this month we're highlighting whatever village,
Mhm.
and we'll use a few pictures, or this month it's gonna be Mills, or this month, and then you use the social
Yeah.
media to drive people back to the,
Mhm.
or maybe they'll run a thing on the front of the town's website that says, this month's Historical Preservation Commission photo gallery or information gallery
Hmm.
is, we'll come up with a cutesy name for it.
Good.
Hmm.
And I'm just, category sports, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Again, I have some of these that I came across that were like this Coventry Athletic Association
Yeah.
from the
Mhm.
20s and 30s. So they had championship basketball, hockey teams and stuff like
So-
that. So, you know, but
And we
that
can
can,
hash
there are
this
other
out.
good ones. that,
Yeah, start
you
with
know,
villages,
go
then
along.
you can always do historic buildings later or sports or
Sports or
whatever.
bills or
Yeah,
whatever. that-
more individual after we do. the
I would
villages.
say,
Big here for the whole picture.
Yeah,
yeah, we can't dump it all on them at once. That would.
okay.
So I was thinking that the website would also in some aspects be a repository for all of the. And from all of the documents, all of the, but I don't know for sure, is a website able to archive?
That's a lot of information.
It is, but it's gotta be
Um,
somewhere, we've gotta get it somewhere.
It could be, I mean, maybe as long, I don't think the capacity is an issue, but if you guys have seen for it, well, you know, no better way to find out if the Wi-Fi is good than to try it, right? Let's see. Not that this, and this won't be on the recording, I guess, but like the way that we have this here, you
We're
know, for
looking at
each
the planning
meeting,
commission's website.
yeah, it doesn't drop down, you know, and so for each month, I mean, this is just attachments, but say like they could be pictures. In theory, it could be a repository that way, like a drop down menu for past months. And then maybe on the main page, that's where the feature is for each month.
Yes, so you could have a section of the website that is archival. And it
Yeah.
can hold more information
Mhm.
divided up into the way the website will be divided up. So you will have photographs and you'll have articles.
Mhm.
And even within that, we could divide it up. Sports articles, village articles, whatever everybody has,
Mhm.
so that it's up there and
At
it's
one
available.
point, Arthur Caldy did some of the early town records he preserved them, put them in a book form. And they're supposedly in the vault.
Hmm.
But you ask them where they are, nobody knows where they are, but
Man.
that's neither here nor
In
there. If
the
we
main,
could find
hall
them,
in town hall, you
yeah,
mean?
if we could find them. But I think right now, just start on the villages, get them up.
Mhm.
Because we need the photos, the data, whatever articles you have, I have to do maps. Because it's very nice to say villages,
Yeah,
and then you have people like me who are like, exactly where are these villages?
Well, yeah,
So
well,
we have to have a
the good-
master map
Yeah.
that
the
shows you
good thing
where
is
they
they do
are.
have those in the town vault.
Yes,
yeah.
well,
Which they can be, I've scanned a lot of them,
Yeah.
but when I first started doing this,
they're out there.
I
but
wasn't
it's-
that good at it.
Yeah.
And I didn't have the app that I have now on my phone, so they're not, I should go back and do some I had, because my grandfather already had them and all the stuff that was handed down to me.
Mhm.
And I have some of that stuff, but the villages like that, those are,
Mhm.
you know, really nice, and you can copy them to.
Some of the things that
Have
are
on there
not
with
on the
the
website that have nothing to do with history, things like, maps of districts, fire
Right.
districts,
Mm.
political districts,
I've got that.
where people have a quick visual of this is how it's divided up.
I've
So all
got
of
two or
that can
three
be, we got a whole
of the
section
district
maps.
things that are from 1890s,
Hmm.
whatever,
Mhm.
to. Or whatever for the village.
Yeah,
stuff.
definitely need the villages, because I'm not sure where they begin and end.
A few years back, they had done a thing on river. Cause I grew up along the river. And I was talking about Washington and Anthony, blah, 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 and I was surprised how many people showed up for that. And at the end, this woman came up and said, where are these places? Washington, Anthony, those are the villages. And she's looking at me like, what?
Well-
They're all the mill villages and,
Yeah.
But they're
Yeah.
not political entities anymore.
no,
They are-
but as
they are-
we grew up in
Right.
them,
Yeah.
we talk
I
about
grew
them.
up in Phoenix.
Yeah, I grew up in Washington.
Yep.
So we talk about it and people that don't know it, look at us like we're weird. They think I'm from Washington DC. I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
No.
I mean, I was just looking at some of the old pictures today and that, and for instance, out in the green area and stuff, there was one that I had never really heard of, but it all revolved around a sawmill and the family that established it, and then they had a store.
Hmm.
Up there on 14, I believe, where it goes into Connecticut, right on the
Mhm.
Connecticut
Like
border.
near Rice
But
City.
we have a lot of already research, written out stuff that I've copied.
It'd just be
that are on, right,
organized
that
and.
have them by the village.
Mhm.
Tells about Harris, tells about Washington, tells about Quidnet, tells about Green, you know, like that.
Yeah.
And it's a short net from the Coventry Historical Society. They
Mhm.
did all that work. So
Mhm.
those are helpful for people if they were going on the website, want to read about villages, and here you have that, then we have pictures
Mhm.
to go along with it.
I think that website with all of that data in there is really gonna establish the commission as
Then,
the
So that's
authority
what
over
you're
all of
gonna
this.
use that as your educational
mhm,
touchstone to jump off of.
It kind of makes you to, I guess, I don't know, in this, the phrasing of like some of these goals. Doesn't that make you like a clearinghouse as well for information?
Sure. Yes, it
You know,
does.
like researchers from all over the country could just click in there and learn all about
And then you put a
history and
Yeah.
write something,
scrapbook.
and then we get a royalty.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
A
fine.
little off the top, right?
there are so
Since
many.
most of those
stories
pictures, we
that-
don't own
I mean, going through
anyway.
Ralph Cook's books, I let Nick borrow one because I just knew he'd
Yeah.
enjoy looking at it, part of it, and I mean, there was one section on Coventry and there were things in there that I had never knew
Mhm.
because they were a big deal at the time, but no one's carried that story forward, you know?
Yeah.
And that's our job, to
To
let
make
people
it
know
happen.
the interesting stories
Mhm,
that
mhm.
come from our town. And
Yeah,
again,
that's-
it's not, it's a major project
Yeah.
It's,
to do.
you just have to do it in pieces. You have
Yep.
to,
Yeah.
the trick to the website is to have your categories and your breakdown set up ahead of time and not have to go back and move things around afterwards as little as possible. That's why I'm still trying to figure out what's already up there.
And as long as they have, I don't know how it's built on the inside, but as long as there are like tags that you
Oh,
could
yeah.
apply,
There'll be
I
a
mean,
side menu, there'll be. a
yeah,
top
then you
menu.
can find, well, then it shows up in search results too. And then once we've got a bunch of months banked, instead of clicking through each, we use the search bar and they'll find it in the results.
That's the plan.
Once we do have a website, I think it's important that you have to advertise that
Yeah.
website.
That's how you use your town website and your social media. That's where you do
Right,
your advertising.
exactly,
Everywhere we do
Facebook.
anything, we should have that website,
yeah.
be like on all of our glass cases, you know, be a QR code
Yeah.
or, you know, www or whatever.
Mhm.
Want more information on this,
QR
go
codes are
to
so easy.
little ad.
I only know doing Facebook because I don't do the others.
Well, good, maybe she can
But-
get you on Facebook, because she can't get
No,
me
no,
on.
I'm not, no, I have a presence on
We
Facebook.
have
But
a historical.
That reaches so many
Facebook page.
people.
I
When
sent
I
her-
post stuff on there, some of the pictures that we've got, some from, that I've done with my
Yeah.
grandfather, it's unbelievable how much the response is. So just on Facebook.
And
I
I've
don't
seen,
know about
Paul,
the
I've said
others.
before, I've seen you, like your
Yeah.
posts in Rhode Island, like statewide,
Yeah,
you know, old photos of
Mhm.
Rhode
You
Island.
link to your Facebook and your link and your Instagram together, and then whatever goes on one ends up on the other.
Mhm.
Whatever.
yeah, you're right. I mean, my point was is that I'm not educated on the other, like, Instagram and stuff like that people use. I don't even know what they're for. So
Instagram is for pictures.
is it? Okay.
That would actually be a
So
good place to put them
Facebook
too.
seems to get the broadest audience,
Mhm.
especially since their site's dedicated to old historic stuff and town pictures and
Mhm.
various things that people always are looking to and enjoy,
Mhm.
you know, so.
Yeah, those are definitely the two biggies. I don't think,
Well-
we don't do videos. I don't think we need to mess with TikTok.
Yeah. Well, the stuff that we have doesn't present well for videos.
So,
Maybe someday you do a long form one, maybe someday find a grant. You know, not that we need any more, we got enough ideas, you know, we've got enough to keep us busy for a
Oh, yes.
while. But, I mean, yeah, maybe someday, if we've got a good amount of content on a specific thing, you can find a grant to make a documentary, half-hour long thing. You never know.
You could even have a category on our causes, like we're working on this.
oh, absolutely, that's definitely part of it.
Yeah.
At current activities, and
Yeah.
we'll have to talk about that one, because I don't know how much of that you want to just blast all over God and everybody.
Yeah, because we.
I
could
mean, there's nothing
talk
that's
about
secret
BlackRock
because
and all
we're,
that stuff,
yeah.
and we've got enough things.
Plus, sometimes if you get your hope, if somebody out there reads it, gets their hopes up, I can't wait to see,
Hmm.
you know, this thing, and then like everything else with municipal
Yep.
government, it gets
Come-
gummed up.
yeah.
Yeah,
come to a screeching halt, or you publish something about like, the stuff we're doing with, Arkwright and Harris, and Harris freaks out because they think someone's gonna come down and tell them what they can do with their house.
yeah.
We don't wanna cause panic,
I think we should also have, like a section for cemetery stuff,
Mhm.
call it Maureen Cemetery
agree.
I
Corner.
think that's,
Yes.
yeah,
It really is important to remind people that those are community assets, really.
and I think that on it, we should also have a community comment place where people can send us
Mhm.
ideas or thoughts or
Mhm.
What you would like to see.
what you would like to see. Do you want to be involved? What would you like to help with?
You can do surveys too. A lot of people like to,
Nice.
just not like a big survey, but like a yes and no, click it, and then
Does the town have anything, Survey Monkey or MailChimp or anything like that for
Yeah,
surveys?
I don't know what the town does for, I can't remember the last time the town did a survey. I've asked Cody to post other people's surveys, like statewide planning. They use stuff like Survey Monkey, but we, for like the other boards, in terms of like the drop us a line stuff, sometimes there'll be a dedicated email.
Right.
So maybe Cody would make something like I don't know, historic at Coventry.ri.gov, something like that. And then at least it goes to an account where it's always going to be able to be,
Somebody will
centralized.
always have
Yeah.
access to it, where it's not to somebody's personal account, which,
yeah. I mean, he could set it to forward to whoever, to
Right,
like, it
right.
probably, I guess it would probably just go to me as staff, but, it would be like, you would be able to access it. The public has one point of contact and then it's findable in one place.
yeah, we want to keep this very, one point of contact.
Mm.
Don't want 59,000 emails and phone numbers.
Well, going to 59,000 places, yeah.
Yes. Okay,
okay, so
So-
back to this.
Yeah.
yes,
Back
back to our
to the
visioning.
vision exercise. So far I've got that we want to strengthen. The vision will include something about how people will understand the heritage of the town, understand their history, and have plenty of opportunities to learn these things. So. But we're gonna just have one or two sentences, so I think we'll be fine with just keeping it pretty simple at this point.
Need
I
some
would say-
brilliant thoughts.
Yeah, which they're
Everybody
not
come
coming
up
to me
with-
at the
everybody
moment.
come up with two sentences
Yeah.
that, that's,
And,
to you, say where we should be or what we should
Yeah.
accomplish.
Yeah,
and at risk of, getting too far in the weeds, I guess you could say that the project list is a cheat sheet if, you look at the categories in
Mm.
general and what we've thought of within them.
What does
Maybe
each
that,
of those categories do?
Yeah, I mean, because we just keep saying to ourselves, just think big, think broad, but, that could be a helpful thing. And yeah, I mean, you sit on it for a month, come back
Mhm,
next month.
Bring up
And-
your ideas.
Yeah.
yeah. That would be appreciated. So, just moving on and we can finish this off. So item number 6, be daring, not generic. Generic goals produce mediocre results. And then I gave a couple of examples. With
Mhm.
generic, it would be delivering an exceptional experience. That sounds great, right? But it is kind of generic. So a daring way to put it would be to provide immersive experiences that bring the history of Coventry alive. So that's kind of what I was thinking of for educational outreach, immersive experiences. And then project 5 or 10 years out into the future, not too far out. This way we can still we'll be in touch with reality. What does the Coventry historical program look like 10 years from now?
Everybody loves us and loves their town.
Right.
It's all about their history.
All the historic locations are well advertised and on the map for people to go look at. Make it inspiring, prepared. Oh, and then I only put number 9 in here because this is where our budget will come in. Prepare to commit time and resources to the vision that the commission establishes. So if we're not doing, the vision statement is just paperwork. So we have to be doing things. And that takes budget.
And some strategy too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's like when, in the early years when times are lean, you do a few things, I guess, that can be done on the cheap. You
Yeah.
demonstrate you've got whatever, some track record,
Exactly.
get a little more, move up a few projects that are, not dirt cheap, but reasonably
Yeah.
cheap, and keep going.
I think I mentioned that a while back where we have to gain everyone's confidence so that we can do more and more. So we do have to have a track record before we get the big bucks. But we will get the big bucks.
Mhm. That's the vision.
That's why we hired you.
Yeah. So, the good and not so good vision statements, I really like the Habitat for
That's probably
Humanity.
the best one,
You know, I mean, it just says it all right
That's-
there. And,
right there where they live, I
yeah,
mean, just
yeah, that's just distilled down to the
absolute essence.
essential, yeah. So I always look at Rhode Island Historical Preservation and Heritage Commission, and they did the same thing, their vision statement, sounds like a mission statement.
It does.
I think there was one part of it that was okay. Let's see. We envision a future in which preserving and protecting historically and culturally significant places and practices increasingly benefits. See, it's a very long sentence.
Blah, 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 blah.
That's what's super
But-
about it, yeah.
It sounded more like a mission statement.
If they had kept it maybe a little shorter.
Yeah,
Just to that one sentence,
yeah,
yeah.
Don't
they-
tell me how you're gonna do it, just tell me what you
yeah.
want to do.
They started listing everything like you'd expect it to see it in the.
But that's the thing, it's tough when when you're doing multiple things, like, I'm sure Habitat for Humanity is more than just build houses, but that's what people know them for.
How many,
It's almost,
they have an entire public information campaign, you see it on your TV all the time,
Well,
they didn't even mention it.
yeah.
they also have a chain of stores in Southern California where I live, and it was called Restore.
Yep, they have those in lots of
Do they
places.
have them here?
I don't know if they have one here, but they. have them in
I-
Texas.
Oh, that's right, yeah, there is,
Yeah.
Down in Charleston.
that's right, we tried to,
I've
yeah, we tried to
also
bring the
donated numerous
washing
things.
machine there, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's this.
You can get any number, like kitchen cabinets or couches, I mean,
Oh,
anything.
yeah,
Mhm.
no, I've involved them in different things where people were either, whereas redoing the whole house, and they had to get rid of good furniture and
Mhm,
stuff like that.
Mhm.
When my uncle and aunt passed away, there was stuff left over, but it was all good, and I
Yeah,
donated it to them, stuff like that.
Mhm.
I'll have to go look
Did
at
you
that.
come get it, or did you bring it?
No, they come and get it. They come and get it. Yep.
A little bit, I've been trying
There's
to
certain
get it
things
for
they
a
won't
year.
take,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah, it has to make sense
Yeah,
for them on the
yeah.
sales floor.
yep.
So, this is, the next one's Madison Historical Society, and I was thinking it was like James Madison or something, but it's Madison, Connecticut.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that caught my eye, and then, oh, Madison, Connecticut. And they did it in bullet form. But theirs sounds like a mission
Again,
statement.
they're
They're telling us the how,
They're telling us the how again,
Yeah.
yes.
Salt Lake City, started out nice, but then it also devolved into just a list of goals.
Yeah.
So it says we'll, have a premier historic preservation program. And then, I think the best one was this one from Philadelphia. And it's pretty bold by saying Philadelphia in 2035. So they've actually got
yeah.
projected out to 2035 as an internationally recognized leader in historic preservation practices. On and on and on. And
A
then I
little
did,
long, but I
Yeah.
like the way it starts out.
Yeah.
It is a vision, it is,
It
you
is
know,
vision,
yeah,
we are, not we will be.
yeah. So they did a good job with it, and they have a really nice website too. There's a lot on there. So I like that suggestion that I heard, that everybody just come back with a couple of sentences. We'll do
Give it a
that.
shot, try it, we'll see what we
And then,
fall. Mhm.
We'll see how it goes.
Okay. Anything else? Next meeting would be February 6th,
yep,
2025.
and that is listed right on that calendar that
Mhm.
we approved, so that is
Official.
perfectly, yeah, fine to lock in.
So do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion for him.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The meeting has been adjourned
And it
at
is
6:56 PM.
Wow.
6:56.